Hello everyone and welcome to the table. So today we are taking a second look at this Spyderco Paramilitary 2. This one of course is in that CPM15V steel. And so like I mentioned in my last video, this steel is now essentially discontinued. It's supposed to be a great super steel, but I noticed something. I did use the knife recently, and so I want to share my experience with that. And so this could be an issue with just the factory edge they provide from Spyderco. But what I basically had with me, I got an e-bike delivered, and of course they use really heavy duty cardboard on those boxes, right? And we all know that cardboard is kind of the bane of a sharp knife. So even with a super steel, I totally get it. But what I noticed is that working through that cardboard, the edge here was folding right over, and I didn't take any pictures or videos, so I regret that. So today we're going to do the same thing because I still have cardboard from that box all over the house. And so what I noticed in using this knife at first, after 3 or 4 passes through the cardboard, the entire edge right here was just buckling. It was folding over. And that's much worse than I expected from essentially a brand new knife in this CPM 15V. So what I did essentially is I did resharpen the edge so we can kind of see. I'm going to give you a close-up of what the edge looks like. And so this is after the sharpening. So go ahead and take a look. I don't claim to be a master sharpener. In fact, I'm going to tell you exactly my process with this is I use the Work Sharp Ken Onion edition with the blade grinder attachment so I can work through the different belt grits. So I always start with coarse and then heavy, medium, and fine. And so I was able to get the knife sharp again, no problem. So this knife will definitely cut. So you can just kind of see a real close-up of most of the belly of the blade. So as of right now, the knife is sharp. And so I will admit, I will tell you, I do sharpen all of my knives, regardless of how they came from the factory. I sharpen all my knives at 25 degrees. And so the reason why I do that is because I have way too many knives to keep track of this or that on any one edge. So this knife is now more or less at a 25-degree edge angle. And we'll see if that improves or hurts the performance. So you can see the tip right there is a little bit thrashed, but it is still sharp. So this knife, as you can see, in real time, the edge is nice and sharp here. There is no issues. It cuts paper perfectly fine, which of course is not the test today. So the test today is we are going to finish off the cardboard boxes and see how it performs. So I'm particularly interested in just doing some push cuts and seeing how the edge holds up. And so again, it could be simply a chance that the factory edge, maybe it was a little overburned or whatnot from Spyderco directly. But I do want to see in terms of long-term use how this CPM15V is going to hold up, because I will say, in full disclosure, as I resharpened this knife, it was resharpening just as easily like an 8CR13 MOV, 14C 28N like a Sandvik steel. It was incredibly easy to resharpen with my Work Sharp kit, and so it was not resharpening like a super steel traditionally does, which is it's a longer process. And so I'm just kind of curious with what's going to happen today when we go out and just finish off this cardboard. Because now I'm less interested in breaking down the cardboard for disposal. I'm more interested in just checking out this knife from Spyderco to see how the edge holds up. So if you're interested, then let's stay tuned and watch that happen. So we'll just go live in the process and make sure it happens. And I'm also, if this one buckles down and bows out quickly, I'm going to go ahead and compare it because I have another Paramilitary 2. This one is in the S110V. But if this one buckles and fails, I'll try the same exact cutting with this knife as well. And honestly, I might just do it anyway, just to see how they compare to each other. So let's go ahead and find out, how are these steels going to work? We have the CPM15V, or CPM15V versus the S110V, and just make some real world comparisons. And again, we all do understand going in, cardboard, and especially stupid thick cardboard like these e-bike boxes come in, cardboard is, going to wreck almost any edge. But I am kind of curious to see. So let's go ahead and go outside and check things out. All right, so this cardboard has some staples in it, so obviously we'll do our best to avoid those, but let's just try some cutting, see how the new edge holds up. I will definitely say there's an improvement there, because originally with the factory edge, like 3 or 4 swipes in, and the edge was rolling. So far we have a nice little pile of cardboard. Let's go ahead and go against the grain a little bit. Oops, this is the S110V. So let's go ahead and do a few cuts with it. And this is straight factory edge. Okay, so straight cut with the S110V. Switching back over to the CPM15V. Oh yeah, about equal. And this is with the grain, I think, so it's going to be easy. Yeah, overall not too bad. Got a nice little pile of cardboard here. I think both steels actually perform pretty well. Overall pretty good. So I think a lot of improvements just from resharpening and getting some fresh steel up to the edge. So I'm actually glad to hear that. So that's awesome. So let's review. All right, so that was actually pretty eye-opening, pretty cool little practice out there. So first off, let's take a look at the edge on the CPM15V. So just taking a look at it on camera, it's still sharp, so there's no real issues there. Let me run my fingernail on it. Yeah, so I'm not feeling any edge deformation or any rolling like that. And let's take a look under the close-up camera. You can see there's a definite edge still there. There's really no damage that I can detect. And so I'm wondering if this is just an indication that maybe the edge straight from the factory was a bit overburnt. You know, I'm not sure how they process things at Spyderco, but I'm thinking as soon as I resharpened it on my own sharpening system, it just brought the real 15V out to play. And so again, that was some pretty tough cardboard. A lot of it was just really tough to muscle through, but I did immediately notice I was getting a lot better push cut action on this time than I did straight out of the package. So I'm really just thinking there were some initial out of the box jitters with this blade and its edge. So pretty cool. So I'm glad that this super steel is definitely proving itself to be so. But I'm also, again, happy that it's fairly easy to resharpen, and maybe on future sharpening, since it's tougher now, it may take longer to process through my sharpening system. But regardless, it's really cool that it's available for that. The CPM, the S110V blade, now this of course performed like a champ, and now this is still on the factory edge angle as well, so it had that advantage, but it didn't have any of the stumbling blocks that the CPM15V did. So let's take a look on camera at the S110V edge, and you can see this sucker still looks brand new. I mean, it looks brand new right here to the naked eye, but even under some magnification, you can still see that beautiful edge there. It has some dirt on it from the cardboard, but I haven't even wiped it down. So this is straight out of pocket, but a beautiful edge on that S110V, and still a very fine working edge on the CPM15V with my less than professional sharpening ability. Remember, I don't claim to be a professional at anything at all here. And for any of you out there who are curious how I'm getting the close-up shots, because I think someone might ask in the comments, I actually have a camera right here. I'm not advertising this at all. It's just a cheapy camera, and it has a magnification mode. So once you switch it over to video or pictures, you just twisty this thing. There we go. There's a light there that comes on, and you get a really close-up angle of everything that you're looking at now. So it works really well at checking out knife edges in particular, as you've seen. It is a bit jittery, and with the focus, you really have to nail it and like wiggle it around until you can get a nice crisp image. But once you nail it in, it really looks cool. And so the brand, it's called, let me see here, let's turn this. It's called Lit Popo. I don't know. It's like a Chinese brand, but it's a really cool little camera. And so that it works really well for knife uses. And honestly, like, it works well for a lot of close-up magnification stuff. But back to Spyderco again. If you have any comments, questions, please do let me know in the comments. The knives themselves work very well. And so I'm happy with this outcome. The 15V is proving itself to be pretty nice in terms of the edge retention. Hope you all have a knife day out there, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.